Welcome to Wawa Sandwire. Today, we're talking about the intense netizen reaction toward Tse Yuan's dramatic proposal concerning dining at official banquets.
Yeah, this really blew up, didn't it? It all stems from that recent storm in a glass over alcohol being served at a travel dinner.
Right, exactly. And it seems like this whole idea of mutual respect in Malaysia has suddenly become, well, extremely sensitive.
Well, it's not just about the food itself, is it? It's more about, applying religious sensitivity standards consistently. Tse Yuan, the chairman of the Malaysian People's Heart Party, he really pushed back on the government about this. He specifically called out how some taboos are treated as almost constitutionally critical, while others seem to be, well, ignored at state functions.
Okay, let's back up slightly. Remind us about that initial alcohol controversy that set the stage for this whole thing.
It did. That incident was heavily criticized by some politicians, including the United Malays National Organization president Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi.
Right. And that led to some pretty high-level warnings, didn't it?
Yes, reinforcing this idea that certain religious sensitivities mean universal prohibition at state events.
So Tse Yuan sees this happening.
And he essentially asks, okay, if that taboo warrants a total ban because of religious sensitivity, why don't others get the same treatment?
Got it. So that leads directly to his specific proposal about beef. What exactly did he call for?
He urged the cabinet, quite formally, to instruct all levels of official banquets, so federal and state,
Everywhere.
pretty much everywhere official, yeah, to completely cease serving beef.
Wow, okay. A total ban. And his justification.
His stated rationale was, and this is key, out of respect for the religious taboos of Hindu and Buddhist adherents. He even specifically mentioned Guanyin worshippers, for many of whom eating beef is a significant religious prohibition.
So he framed it purely as an issue of fairness and respect.
Exactly. He called it a necessary step to show true religious mutual respect and equality in Malaysia. He's basically mirroring the language used in other contexts.
And he's highlighting an imbalance then, saying one standard exists for the national religion but not others?
Precisely. He pointed out that official functions, well, they already consistently ban pork and certain other non-Muslim foods to respect Islam. That's standard practice.
Well, no, that happens.
But, he argued, the government hasn't shown that same level of sensitivity towards Hindu and Buddhist dietary rules. So, beef is still commonly served all over the place, as he put it, at these same official events.
So it's a direct challenge. Why the difference? If sensitivity demands a ban for one, why not for others?
That's the core political question he's forcing.
Okay, so he puts this idea out there. How did people react? Oh, let's unpack the netizen response, because it was huge.
Oh, it was immediate and very strong. For a lot of people, this wasn't even really about beef versus alcohol.
What was it about then?
It was about the principle, like you said, consistency. The idea was if you insist on sensitivity, then fine, but apply it equally.
So a lot of support for his underlying point, even if not necessarily for banning beef itself.
A very significant amount of support for the principle of equal application. Comments flooded in saying things like, 100% agree, fully support,
Yeah.
And many explicitly linked it to fairness. This is possible, proving fairness and justice, that kind of sentiment.
And the phrase, respect must be mutual, probably came up a lot.
Constantly, that was a very common theme. If respect requires prohibition in one case, it must be mutual.
Interesting. And did people connect this directly back to politics? Did they call out other politicians?
Oh, absolutely. Netizens are savvy, right? They immediately saw the political angle. People started using this to put pressure on other figures. We saw comments specifically naming certain politicians.
Asking them to take a stand.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I really want to hear what politician's name thinks about this. It instantly became a sort of litmus test.
Right, forces them to show their cards on whether they believe religious accommodation should be universal or selective.
Precisely. It put the spotlight right on them.
Okay, so there was strong support for the consistency argument, but surely not everyone agreed, or some must have seen it differently.
Definitely. While many backed the call for consistency, another whole segment of the reaction went in a different direction. They used the proposal to highlight what they saw as the potential absurdity of escalating sensitivity demands.
How so?
Basically arguing, if we start banning everything that might offend someone, where does it end? The slippery slope argument.
Okay, so more sarcastic or critical takes.
Yes, a lot of irony and sarcasm came out. People recognized Tse Yuan's move was tactical.
The fighting magic with magic idea someone mentioned.
Exactly, that kind of comment popped up, or framing it like an eye for an eye, not necessarily endorsing the beef ban, but using it to critique the initial situation.
Right, using the proposal to make a point about the whole sensitivity debate.
Hmm.
I bet there were jokes about menus shrinking.
Oh, yeah. Lots of comments like, eventually everyone will just be vegetarian at these things, or soon we'll all just be drinking plain water at functions.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can imagine. Taking it to the extreme to show the difficulty.
There was even one joke going around, something like, even money will have to be divided into halal and non-halal soon.
Okay, so using hyperbole to question the whole direction of these kinds of demands.
Right. It tapped into a public weariness, perhaps, about navigating these increasingly complex rules in shared public spaces.
Were there also more, let's say, moderate voices, people not being sarcastic, but maybe disagreeing with the ban for other reasons?
Yes, there were those too. Some netizens pushed back gently, advocating for moderation and, importantly, personal choice.
What did they say?
Comments like, we are not that extreme, suggesting that maybe the majority of Hindus or Buddhists don't actually demand a state-enforced beef ban at all events.
Implying it's more of a political projection than a grassroots demand.
Possibly. Or simply that it should remain a personal decision. We saw comments saying things like, no need to ban, that is a personal matter.
That's a fair point, too. Respecting choices versus imposing restrictions.
There was also a bit of cynicism, questioning whether those perceived as extreme in one context would actually reciprocate or care about the feelings of others if the tables were turned.
Interesting. So, ultimately, Tse Yuan's proposal, whether you agree with it or not, it really forced a national conversation, didn't it?
Absolutely.
About what mutual respect actually means in practice. Does it mean everyone stops doing things that might be sensitive to someone else?
Or does it mean, finding ways to accommodate differences at the same table without needing universal prohibition for everything?
That seems to be the crux of it.
I think so. The fundamental issue Tse Yuan raised is how Malaysia defines religious sensitivity in public official life. If one taboo is considered so significant it requires a complete ban affecting everyone at official events, his question is simple. Why don't others get the same consideration?
It puts the existing standard under a microscope.
It really does. It forces a look at whether the current approach is truly consistent or selective.
So looking forward, this debate isn't just about beef or alcohol, is it? It's about the rules of engagement in a multi-religious, multicultural society.
Precisely. It's about the template for public life and official conduct. What does genuine inclusivity require? That's the ongoing question.
Which brings us to you, our listeners. We really want to know what you think about this complex issue. Does ensuring mutual respect in public settings mean we need more universal restrictions? Limiting options for everyone to avoid potential sensitivities.
Or is true mutual respect actually about accepting diversity, accepting that people might have different practices, different diets, even when sharing the same space or table?
Where do you draw the line? Let us know your thoughts. We're keen to hear different perspectives on this. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.